This is video number 3 in our Back to Basics sequence. This is an introduction to intermediate techniques aimed largely at those between 7th, 6th, 5th Q. That's yellow, green and purple belt in our organisation. We're going to develop 3 techniques. Previously we did 2 in our last video, so we can see how this kind of evolves and develops into longer combinations. Fundamental issues again about this showman and hand-eye position, but also more particularly in this at this grade, in this level, we start to develop more timing with our techniques. With 3 techniques, obviously the permutations become a little bit more complicated, but if we start with the simple combination known as Agiyuki, Gyakuzuki and Gidambarai. So that's 3 techniques. It's 1, 2 and 1. So these are the first combinations we'll do. So from there, prepare Agiyuki, Gyakuzuki, and then without moving, shoulders, arms or feet, hand up and rotate the hip back. Okay. So keeping this hand-eye position, keeping this side back, we step back in for those with not much room to train. We step back, prepare, turn the hips, rotate the hip back in on the punch, and prepare and block Gidambarai. So we can see this movement of the hips, hand-eye, showman, hand-eye. Okay? And again, the timing becomes much more important from there. Block and punch, and block again. So again, block and punch, and block again. Okay, so Agiyuki, Gyakuzuki, Gidambarai. Sideways on, just to give you an idea from there, and stepping forward. So again, elbow not leading, so all those basic principles still in place. Rotate, stop, good kime, good focus on the technique. And nothing, no movement here. Okay. And straight up, the hips haven't moved. So don't start to move the hips early. Block and rotate the hip together. Okay, so I'll show you that again. This time going back and forward as opposed to forward and back. Agiyuki, Gyakuzuki, Gidambarai. 1, 2, 3. Often see where people do the first 2 combinations or first 2 techniques very quickly and then almost give up on the last one. And slow. No. What happens if that punch hadn't worked and they counter punch again? So everything with vigour, with speed, with power, okay, with determination and intent. Okay, all like that. So it's Agiyuki, Gyakuzuki, Gidambarai. In a similar vein, same technique or same combination, with a different block. This time from here, Uchijuki, Gyakuzuki, Gidambarai. Keeping the hip back, this hand-eye position. Okay, and from there, preparing and block again. So in, prepare, Gidambarai. In and prepare, block and punch, block again. Okay, so Uchijuki, Gyakuzuki and Gidambarai. Sideways on, again, blocking, punching with the opposite hand, and blocking again. The danger comes obviously, the faster we go and the more techniques we actually put together, we lose some of the basics. We lose the hikite, we lose the kime. We might even, particularly with this one, even forget to finish it in an attempt to go too fast. Start slow, build the basics up, make sure each one has got kime. And again, don't do that. Don't go slow and fast. It should be fast, fast, fast again. That speed, that combination, that timing, that precision every time. So they were 1, 2, 3. We could have done Soti Juki Gyakuzuki Gidamburai and even Gidamburai Gyakuzuki Gidamburai. But to show the difference in timing, and so the video doesn't last forever, same blocks, but with different permutations thereafter. So first one, Agiyuki, then Uraken Gyakuzuki. So the timing there is a 1, 2, 3. So we'd come in this time, because we're in Gyaku, unlike the other combinations we've just done, we have to swap, block, strike and punch. Step in, swap, block, strike. Just a point on Uraken. The elbow is fixed, palms facing the side of my head, and it's forward. It's as much into the technique, not swinging past. So we have to focus the elbow, keep the elbow still, here, then in. So Agiyuki, Uraken Gyak. Our opponent's attacked, we block, then we can strike and punch them. Okay, so sideways on, again, stepping forward, Agiyuki. Then from there, Uraken Gyak. Can swap, Agiyuki, Uraken Gyak. Back and forward fast, swap and block, strike and punch. Okay, so that type of speed. And again, just being cautious or conscious of all of those fundamentals. Similarly, Uchijuki. Okay, same 2 blocks as we just done before with the 1, 2, 3. This time 1, 2, 3. Uchijuki, followed by Kizamazuki, front hand punch to Jodan, backhand punch to Chudan. Step in and swap. Uchi, 1, Kizami Gyak, 2, 3. So again it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Sideways on, as always, Uchi. Again, don't, because you're kind of anticipating the second, even the third technique. People don't give this as much attention. Keep it here, then there's a big movement with the punch. Hanmai, shonen. Okay? Hanmai, shonen. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Uchi, Kizami Gyak. Again, where we go a little bit off-piste would be on some of the punching techniques. We'll come back to 1 or 2 of the other blocking techniques that we did earlier on in the earlier videos. This time from here, Sanbonzuki, 3 punches, each knee san. 3 punches. Done combination 1, 2, 3. So from there, Jodan, double Chudan. No rotation, square showman position. And this time back and forward. And because I finished natural, not Gyaku, there's no need to swap at the halfway position. Okay. Sanbonzuki. Again, sideways on. Not necessary even really, but okay, just for completeness. Square body, shoulders down. 1, 2, 3. You might see in all of our combinations, firm foundations. Good strong position here, no movement, either through weak core or more especially, and it's more difficult, the older you get perhaps, okay, having weak or unstable knees. Okay, that's why we work on these stances, build up that strength. So Sanbonzuki, 3 punches. Slightly different will be Maegeri or Renzuki. Renzuki, as you remember in the last video, 2 punches. So from there, Maegeri, double punch, all to the stomach. From there, we're going to go back and forward. We'll go back and swap, kick, double punch. Obviously, in dojo with a lot of space, what we'd be doing would be kicking and swapping at the same time. kicking and swapping at the same time. You might not have space to do that. Okay, you might be stuck in a bedroom. Okay, something like my bedroom, not much space at all. Okay, so back and forward, back and swap, kick, double punch. Back and swap, kick, double punch. And remembering, mentioned in the video number 2, okay, don't cheat. My opponent is coming here, okay, I can't just step there, can't reach for the kick. Okay? My opponents come here all the way back, then I can kick them. Okay, good job I've got short legs, or is it long arms? Okay, so Maegeri Renzuki. Okay, so just to recap, 3 techniques, either 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And similarly with the punches that we've just done, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. Okay? Off-piste again, slightly different with the Sotijiki combination. There's 2 variations. I don't want to overstretch it at this stage. Video number 4 will look at much longer combinations. But from here, Sotijiki, as we did in the second video, across to Empuchi, keeping the head forward, and then either Urakenuchi over the top, or Uraken and Gyakuzuki. Or you could miss out the Uraken altogether. Depends on what you're asked to do by sensei at the time. Okay? Adaptability, being able to change what you're doing, listen to what you're being told, respond to an opponent, can react. Okay? It's all what karate is all about. Like life really, isn't it? Okay? Respond to conditions. Okay? You've not got much space, respond to the conditions. I know that some of you will have carpet at home. Okay? Be careful, it can be very slippy. Also barefoot, you might get some carpet burns. Okay? I'm lucky in here, it's a nice tiled floor with underfloor heating, so I'm rather toasty. Okay? So, Sotijiki, across to Empuchi and Kibidachi, and then an Urakenuchi. We could go back to the Gyakuzuki. The Gyakuzuki is a good one for this training exercise, because then that allows us to go back and forward, Sotijiki, MP. This time miss the Uraken and do Gyakuzuki. So, feet together, swap, Sotijiki, Zengtsudachi, keeping this side firm, in Empuchi, Kibidachi, one line, step back across, remembering to turn this foot, get the hip back in. So, Sotijiki, Empi, Gyak, Sotijiki, Empi, Gyak. Okay? So, Sotijiki, just for those of you who thought might have missed it out, okay? We don't tend to do Sotijiki, Gyak, and Gidambarai, or Sotijiki and Kizamazuki, Gyakuzuki. We did once upon a time, it's not something we do too often now. Shutuki technique. Last video we did Shutuki and then across to Nukete. So transitioning from Kokutsudachi into Zengtsudachi. Let's add a technique. Got a choice. So if I show you sideways on, again, start here, elbow flat on the chest, hand out in front. As this hand comes back, it twists. You're pulling someone, pulling them into the technique. Okay? Lots of good bunkai for Shutuki. Shutuki is a block, and Shuto-uki as a means by which to get into an opponent and strike them. Okay? So from there, Shutuki, and either, we did this kick in the last video, just the very end, Mayashigeri, and then to Nukete. Finishing the Nukete, it allows us to go back, prepare, block, kick and strike. Okay, so from there. Okay, so that's Shutuki, Mayashigeri, Maegeri off the front leg, and then Nukete. Reasons, or things to watch. Okay, Do not kick and then be moving across in the kick. Maintain good gamai posture in the kick, then across. This could be grabbing, pulling an opponent into the nukete. So never kind of kicking across there, kicking straight at your opponent and then nukete. Swap the Mayashi, introducing another new technique here, for Maya Mawashigeri. It's a Mawashigeri roundhouse kick off the front leg. So from here, back leg bent, one line, maintain gamai, kick, and then nukete. And again, we can come back forward, kick off the front leg, and in nukete. Be careful on this one that Maigeri is fundamentally straight, Mawashigeri is horizontal, but don't let this knee end up across here, turning you back at an opponent. Keep here, keep the knee on the outside of the opponent, then in. Okay? Keep the knee on the outside of the opponent and in. So Shutuki, Mawashigeri and Nukete. So both the Sotijuki and Puchi and Gyakuzuki technique, combination Shutuki, Mayashigeri, Nukete, don't have that timing of 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3. Okay. It's not possible. Okay? It's usually 1, 2, 3 in rapid succession, but they are separate techniques. Whereas in some of the combinations, it's 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3. They're close together. These are not. Okay? Just to finish, okay, and wrap up, so recap on some of those. So remember the timing. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be all these blocks. In the next video, I'll introduce some additional blocks. Ude Barai, okay, even Teisha, okay, things from our katas. Okay, that by the time you've reached 4th kyu, 3rd kyu, you should be quite adept at using. Kata informs basics. Basics informs kata. They both inform kumite. Okay, so if you think of that holy trinity, okay, they act and work together. They are one. Okay, they're not separate. Okay, so remember those combinations. Okay, and we'll move on in the next video to 4 and perhaps 5 techniques. One final thing, just to reiterate, you should never ever forget, we did Maigeris last time, and I started to ask, if you practice Maigeri back, Mayashigeri, back and forward Maigeri. Okay? It's a 3 kick combination. We've just done 3 techniques. Why not do the same? Okay? We could from here, okay, step Kiyagi and then step Kokomi. Not got room. Make room. Okay? So from here, I might just, from here, this is good practice for some downgrades. You're doing katas like Nijishio. Start with the first one, Kiyagi on the spot, then Kokomi in. So, Kiyagi on the spot, Kokomi in. Make that space. Okay? So you could practice that almost like a Rengeri technique. So without having to step, haven't got room. Kiyagi, then chase Kokomi. Turn. Kiyagi, then chase Kokomi. Okay, so that can be your Rengeri technique. Yokogeri, if you've not got much room. Back to the Maigeri, again, 2 kicks. Okay, so from there could be Maigeri back, Maigeri in. That's 2 kicks, Rengeri, fast. Or you might want to kick them back and kick and change. Kick them back, kick and change. But no cheating, as I said. Okay, with those legs. So again, if I kick Maigeri, step back to here. Don't cheat. Mayashigeri, kick, land here. Don't kick and then come back here because you know that the next one's got it. Okay, you're doing a 3rd kick. Be true, okay? You're only cheating yourself, okay? Keep practicing, and I'll see you for video 4 in a few days' time. Thank you.